Well, of course, over the past 2 centuries, as we heard, they're paying that 150 million franc sum and its interest to France has really been a long-running problem for Haiti. And as we heard, the French president is going to make a key statement on the imposition of that debt. It's thought he will explicitly acknowledge France's historical role in Haiti's economic and political struggles. And we're going to talk a little more about this. I'm joined now on the line from London by Christopher Sabatini of Chatham House think tank, where he is Senior Research Fellow for Latin America for the US and Americas programs. First of all, thank you so much for joining us here on France 24. It's really good to have you with us. I want to start, Haiti is a country you know very well, population of 9 million or so people. It is beset with problems. It's regularly described as the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. How would you describe Haiti's difficulties today? How could they be best addressed or fixed?
Well, that's a long story. And as you start with, we should begin on the issue of the debt that basically was an independence ransom that was levied on the Haitian people in 1825. It was 115 million gold francs, as you mentioned, but in US dollars, that's 560 million. But that placed them in debt over the long term as well, requiring them to take out further loans from the French that amounted to, some people say, as much as $12 billion worth of debt that permanently created a drag on Haiti's economic development. Today, what we see is effectively a stateless society. As your excellent report just noted, about 85% of the capital cities controlled by gangs. There is effectively no real government. The former president in 2023 was assassinated. And then we also have a transitional council that's effectively paralyzed. Well, most importantly, what's happened is that the UN Security Council, the international community, has really failed to act on this tragedy. In fact, and the Trump administration right now is compounding it. The UN Security Council failed to approve a UN peacekeeping mission that would have usually placed UN dues in a multinational force to help with security situation. Instead, they passed a sort of compromise, a multilateral mission for security that is not effective. It's underfunded, as you implied, and the main force right now is about 1,000 outmanned, outgunned Kenyan police forces that are there that are simply not sufficient. So the situation is dire inside the country, but also internationally. It's marked by paralysis and the failure to really take responsibility of what's going on from any of Haiti's international partners.
And what is blocking the United Nations Security Council from approving these forces to go in? Is that connected to the history of the UN there?
2 words: Russia and China. And this will be a problem not just in the case of Haiti, but going forward. In the larger geopolitical competition that we're seeing between the United States, the West, and China and Russia right now, they both have veto authority in the Permanent Council of the UN Security Council, and it's very much in their favor as Trump ramps up the if you will, so the trade war and tensions globally to have what is a disaster just off the coast of the United States. Admittedly, a disaster that's part of the U.S. doing. Much of the guns that are fueling the gangs that take control of Port-au-Prince come from the United States. A lot of the drugs that are being consumed that fuel also the revenue of these gangs come or go to the United States and to Europe. So this is certainly the West doing. But the truth is that China and Russia are refusing to do anything about it, anything meaningful about it. And the West, in response, has failed to step up outside the UN Security Council.
Now, there is this question of financial reparations, of whether France should give money to Haiti to repair the damage done by imposing that very heavy price 200 years ago. How likely is that? What sort of reparations might be acceptable to the French, might happen?
Well, first of all, this is complicated. I don't think the French will pay what they fully owe, whether it's even the today's dollar-denominated debt that they originally levied against the independence government, or even the original. I just don't think that will happen. Nor could it actually go directly to the Haitian government, simply because the Haitian government is really dysfunctional right now. Arguably, there really doesn't exist a state right now in Haiti. So it'd have to go through international aid organizations. And in the past, those international organizations, because they've often given the assistance to intermediaries, not to the Haitian people, not to build up a Haitian state that could effectively deliver that, have failed. So the question is, where would you invest that money? I think the first step really here is France needs to lead an international coalition to, first of all, provide a response. As I mentioned, the United States is not doing. In fact, it's going backwards. It's cut the assistance. It's about to repatriate about 250,000 Haitians who fled the disaster back to Haiti. So France has to serve a leadership role here to get either a UN Security Council resolution or some ad hoc resolution that then comes with an effective price tag that France can lead on the contributions of that. And then also France needs to provide the leadership for sort of a sufficiently robust security force that can establish state control within the country and begin the process of development assistance. Because right now, if we speak to donors, many of them cannot simply deliver the assistance because the state is in a point of total chaos right now.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Christopher Sabatini of Chatham House think tank in London. We really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your thoughts there.